Hey, hey, hey. Welcome everybody to Legion's Ladies Live. Amber, how are you doing today?
I am swell. How are you?
I'm doing good. I am so excited for tonight. I cannot wait. It is going to be a great show. Oh, that's funny. All right. Do you want to take a minute and let's welcome everybody who is here tonight?
Let's do it. We got Rob Zamora,
Hey, Rob.
J Mac,
Hey, J-Mac.
Van, and Purple Gang Gang,
Woohoo.
Curtis Ackerman, Benny at his Axe League tonight. We have Purple Ray Ray, Rygon, hi bud, Jeremy, Jen Siak, Darla Ackerman, Kevin McCoy,
Hey,
Stacy Lynn, Brian Lynn, Jeff Evans. We have G, no, you are not late. Michael Morales. We have Curtis Ackerman. He's on the road, so he'll be a bit quiet tonight, but he is listening. To Kevin, Len, and Darla, hi, honeys.
honey. Oh.
We have
Be
Dirk
careful.
and Wholesome Warlock, hi, Jordan. Collectible Fun, Maverick,
Hey, hey.
Santos, Scott, Joe, and Mark R.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, and welcome. We are super excited tonight because we have, I don't know, one of the best guests in all of, of the Legions community. We are so excited. We have some news to talk about, and then we will get to asking Len all of the hard questions that we have for him. We've had some other guests, William Husted, Joe Vasapolo. Welcome and thank you for joining us. And there he is. Hey, Len.
Hey.
How
Hi,
are
Amber.
you?
Hi, Tanya. How are you?
We're doing great. We're so excited to have you
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
here. Yeah. Gonna talk through some news. I know that you are up on all the Legions news, so we're gonna have you in here and have you comment on some of the great stuff that's going on. So
Okay.
first, we are gonna talk about, because it ends. Is it the 14th or is it Sunday? I think
Oh,
maybe it's the
don't ask me
14th.
for details like that.
I know. I think it's the 14th.
That would be
But
tomorrow.
yeah, I know. They are up right now, except for the dragon, Kragnar. You can still get the head and the tail, but you can't get the body from
February
stores.
23rd.
Oh, February 23rd.
Okay, so we've got a little bit longer. So
I cheated. I
Oh,
read
yeah,
Kevin's
that-
comment.
oh, good. Okay, thank you,
Thank you for
Kevin.
giving us their orders.
So these are amazing, and what a great idea to do some of the heads packs for some of the cosmic characters, um and they're the, of course the paint match is amazing, but just the difference that it makes on these characters is amazing.
I really like these.
Yeah, they're amazing. Love them. That's the coolest one, I think. That makes
Yeah,
an awesome character.
Oh, yeah.
it really does. And I
Especially
think
with the
too,
tail.
do what?
I said, especially with the tail.
Yeah, but I think too, if you take some of the legions parts and put on him to make him, or mythic parts to put on him to make him a mythic character as well. I think these are amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you. You could definitely make a really cool mythic character out of it if that's what you want to do. Like if you've been not wanting to jump into cosmic, it's a reason to grab some, because now you get some cool, you can make some more mythic.
Right. And these heads, this heads pack. I was so
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
And of course, Sherry painted them for the ladies, and so she did such a fantastic job.
I love Sherry.
I cannot wait to get these in hand. I think I'm ordering several of them. And then, of course, the Greyborn. These are so nice. I love the scowl and the teeth and the...
Yeah. The Scally one reminds me of the show Resident Alien. I don't know if any of you guys watch that, but it's hilarious. And he's really grumpy alien, and it reminds me of that.
So cool. And I love the new head paint on the one, those white stripes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then, of course, to get the helmeted heads for these are amazing.
Yeah, that's a cool like little add-on for the bugs, right?
Yes. So the 23rd, you have until the 23rd. The heads are available. Most of them, I think, still have the characters available with them. They may be getting low on some of those, but we know that Kragnar is sold out. So you can still get the head and tail. You just can't get it with the character. Okay, and then we have these beauties that have been announced over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The retailer appreciation wave, which is awesome. The repaints on some of the figure obscuras. Oh my gosh. I mean, they are amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was working. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you were working.
No, I was working with these today because we have like a day to get them onto the website because they're tomorrow. They're going to be available tomorrow. So I was like, it makes me, when I'm doing maintenance on the website to add products and everything, it really focuses your attention on them like a lot, and you get the details, and that's when I become super familiar with them. So that's what I was doing this morning, and they're really cool. There's a lot of really cool stuff in this wave.
There really are, and the color differences that they made in some of the extra parts as well. Not necessarily the color changes they made on the figures, but like this one has the gold statue. The different paint apps on the whatever that thing is that carries the statue. But I mean, just a lot of changes that were made are just unreal. I mean, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, I believe Jeremy said Cameron did all that detail work on all the extra parts, and he really went to town on the detail. It's incredible.
It is. And then we've got Bastet, and I love the new color. Taking it from the off-white to the red. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Like,
yeah, it's striking.
It really is.
Yeah,
it's black skin with that red, just...
It's not the normal colors you'd associate with like Egypt, but they had bright colors. They had extremely bright, vibrant colors. Mm-hmm. I think in our media, our modern media, you just don't see that because it's not like a lot of it lasted, but I'm sure they had that red that they could do. I'm not an expert on it, but it's something that's really striking. It looks notably different from the original. It's really cool.
Yeah. But I am so excited to get my hands on her.
Yeah.
And of course, together, to see all of their stuff together. They're not sold together. They're sold separately because they're coming from retailers and retailers are going to be able to order them individually. So
Yes.
you don't have to get them as a set anymore. You can order these individually. So if you want 15 Bastettes, then you can get 15 Bastettes.
Yeah. I know at the shows that we do, and I don't, Amber probably can attest to this, but that caused a little confusion. Like people wanted one, they didn't want the other. Like there were a lot, so we had to actually like make matches happen with people and be like, "Hey, do you want Bastet and you want Anubis? All right, we'll just buy it and then you guys split it." Like we literally had to like make it work for people because we had to sell them in sets because that's the way it has to be.
Right.
But yeah, like at the shows, it was a little difficult, but we figured it out.
Well, that's awesome because to me, being able to buy them individually, and I did that when they first came out. I bought 3 sets and then went on the Figure Obscura Cabal and said, "Hey, does anybody want 3 of Anubis?" Because I just wanted the Bastet bodies. So I was able to work a deal where I sold all 3 of my Anubises so that I could keep my Bastets. But, being able to order them separately now is amazing.
Definitely.
And then we've got this repaint. Everybody was wanting the green, and they did it, and it looks amazing. It's not like I don't know. With him, I picture, the green face that you see all the time is that really funky looking green, like, I don't know, bright grass green color or whatever. And then when they did this, he's got, it is just not that color, but it is still green. And it looks amazing.
I really like it.
And I was really excited too about the different colors of like the tables. Instead of being that bright silver, have more of a bronzy, I don't know, to me it's so Victorian looking now, whereas the other one was more sterile. This one reminds me more of Victorian era. So
yeah, I think all the accessories do have that more Victorian steampunky look than the other ones, definitely.
Yeah, I love it. I love this. I'm again another one that they did. And of course, this one is the new Ghost of Christmas Past. Oh my gosh. Alone, she can be an ice queen, whatever. It takes me back to
Narnia?
C.S. Lewis. See, I know it's
Narnia.
Yes,
Lewis,
Narnia. Yep. Takes me back to C.S. Lewis, Narnia. And when I first opened her up, the first thing I thought about was Narnia. And seeing this lamp pole there with her, the way she was looking, more Ice Queen looking kind of thing. This is fantastic. This is fantastic.
Yeah. I will admit I prefer the original Dickens one, like look. So those are the ones I'm going to be like keeping for myself, like take out at Christmas time. Right. This is super cool. And if that's the way you like it, I think it's really cool that they're giving you that choice, and it's clear that's the path they're going to go with the holiday series, where you're going to have one option early and one option from the retailers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love this. And of course, then to put these two side by side, I think this was amazing. When they do the whole set, to have these all looking the same, that's going to make a pretty striking look. So I love it. Absolutely love it. All right.
Yep.
And then the next one, I was looking at it saying, well, I love this colorway. This is awful nice. This is very pretty. A different way of painting. And then everybody started going, Horde, the Horde. And I'm like, I didn't realize that's what they did, but that is such a great figure. I love the colorway anyway, but when everybody was like, we're gonna have to army build these, or so this was this was a cool release. It was fun to watch the fans.
Yeah, I agree. It took me a split second. Like when I first saw it, I was like, what is that? That looks really familiar. And then I was like, oh no, that's what it is. So it's really cool. And it's awesome that they're giving the retailer wave the what would have been like the PowerCon exclusive, right? Like traditionally. So to throw it into the retailer one for this round anyway is really cool. Like that's really a good idea because they're very popular.
Yeah, this is great. And yeah, somebody over on the side, I thought it was really cool that they put it next to a Nintendo controller, and it's the same colorway as a Nintendo controller, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Eric Miller did an amazing job on that. Like, it's incredible. He's living his dream right now, and congratulations, Eric, for that. Definitely, because you knocked these out of the park.
Yeah. And then the last one is what was his name? It was
like something I called him Verde. Like I had a lizard. My sister had a lizard when we were younger, and his name was Verde, and it has some kind of Virilius like type name to it. It's super long and confusing.
Vern. Burn some, because last night on Jeremy's show he kept saying, is this a tribute to Vern? Because he kept saying it.
Vern.
Like, is this a tribute to Vern? Is that what this is? So but yeah, this cloak, how they did that cloak and the hood being a little bit different, and the
Vernalis Arden scale.
There you go.
Yes. Thank you, Amber. And how they did the animal, the snake, and then they did the hawk flying or whatever, but in that bright orange, it just looks amazing. It really does.
Yeah, it's super cool. I love it's cool that they're bringing a druid in, because that's a really cool, like, race or whatever they call them. And I think it's really cool because this can spark like many more druid builds, right? Like, so you can just steal the cloak, steal the staff, steal the magic parts, you steal the bag, throw it on someone else. You got a druid that's not a snake. So I could definitely see people ordering a lot of these for that reason.
Yeah, just amazing. Again, these go up tomorrow. You said tomorrow.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
So tomorrow these go on pre-order, and then I'm guessing they pre-order for a couple weeks.
A long time. No, it's
really?
Like he said last night that it's like, I want to say, someone's going to say in the chat, so we'll just wait, but I want to say it's like the end of March.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, they're giving it a really long window. I noticed, like longer than usual. So I'm not really sure, because maybe it has something to do with whatever they're going to be doing, but it has a longer window.
Okay. That is fantastic. Well, I cannot wait to jump on these. And Len, you're going to be given a little extra with all of these, right?
Yeah. On the listing on the site, I don't have that specifically listed, because I got to be honest with you guys, like, I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time to think about this. This was like here it is. Get on the site. Let's go. Like, stuff's moving fast. All right.
Yes,
like,
yes.
The figure launch is coming, and there's like skeletons coming, like everything's coming, and it's happening fast, especially for a small business. So I haven't thought. What will happen is when we get further on, I'll change the listings to say, like, this will come with a head, this will come with a whatever. But right now, just know, like, if anyone wants to order them from me, you can go to any retailer you want. But if you want to order them from me, you will get something with them. I just don't know what that is yet, because we didn't have 2 years to think about it, like an Econominus or anything else. It's this. Yeah, stuff's going quick.
It is. I can't believe it. So we're gonna bring up one more thing for the news.
Schedule.
Yes. Well, this is kind of just an overview of the events. They've already done Geeking Out in California. They've already done MegaCon. They've already done Winterfest in Japan. So ZoloCon is next, which is coming up fast. I mean, March 1st, 1st of March, first weekend in March.
Yep.
And then
which is like the first and second. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got MuskeCon, which is the 22nd in March.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Toylanta, which is the following weekend in March. I'm just like, can we throw any more March shows here, guys? Can you keep us busy all of March? Because that's basically what it feels like. Amber, you guys are going to ZoloCon. Len, you're going to be at ZoloCon, right?
Yeah, this will be, I think, my 5th year at ZoloCon as a vendor. I think I've been going for years.
Right.
But as being the first time I ever went, I wasn't Wolf King. I was just selling toys. Like I literally just was like, I got a lot of toys from like the early 2000s I wanted to get rid of that. I was like, I don't want these anymore. So I was like, I found this toy show and I was like, oh, ZoloCon, what's that? Okay. Yeah, I'll get a table there and I'll sell them there. And I went down there and I did that with my buddy Cookie, and the rest is kind of history on it because I haven't stopped doing toy shows since. And back then it was funny because I was across from the Horsemen, and this was at a time when they literally had one table. Like it was one table, and it was like Eric, CB, Jim. I think CB's nephew was there, like helped them. One table, like just whatever they could fit on it. And I saw people crowding them then, but I didn't really know what was going on. This was like pretty early. And yeah, like then by the next year, I was like in that line, so it was a little different, but it was wild. But I love toy shows. They're just a great way to meet people, as you guys know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, they are. And then MuskeCon, Len, you're going to have a presence, but you're not going to be there.
I will not personally be there, but my steward, Jesse Arnold, will be there, which is as good as me. What we do is I give Jesse just takes a lot of the stuff from Zolo when we're done home with him, and then I'll send him some extra stuff. And my friend, everyone's friend, Brett Stoddard, and Jesse cruise up to Michigan, and it's a full display. So it's a little less than we would normally have, but it's still like a lot of the stuff is there. So it's not like we're not cheating our friends in Michigan. They're getting the full show.
Good. And I'm going to be at that one. And then Toylanta. You guys, Len, you guys don't do Toylanta, right?
No, but it's got to go on my radar. I was telling my wife that. I'm like, look, I got to do this Toylanta because it's building into a premier like show. It's tough because it's so close to Zolo. Like I don't like to have too many of them build up like really close to each other, but the toy I would love to go as just for fun, like not as a vendor. Like I would, even if I just go for the week, to hang with everybody. I definitely want to put it on my to-do list for next year.
And Kevin and I are doing back-to-back weekends, so we will be at MuskeCon and then we are going to Toylanta.
Oh wow!
I know. I'm already tired thinking about it.
Yeah.
Luckily, Toylanta is not that far from it. I mean, it's a 5-hour drive, so it's not that far. MuskeCon, on the other hand, it's going to be a trek for us to go there. But I'm
how long is that, Tanya? That's got to be
I think Kevin said it was like 13, 14 hours, maybe 13 hours.
I was going to guess 14, yeah.
But we're leaving out early, and we're going to spend the night somewhere. And then when we come back, we're going to leave and spend the night somewhere on the way back too. So we're not going to make that drive in one day.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then. That sounds like actually fun then instead of.
Yeah. And we're going to, see people and see things like it's going to be a lot of fun. And like we debated and debated and debated ZoloCon and MuskeeCon because at least ZoloCon was further away. But we just really wanted to go to MuskeeCon and see all of our friends and stuff, and just a lot of people were going to be there, so it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
I would definitely love to go. My wife actually like wants to see Michigan. Like it's a part of the country we haven't been to, and we really would like to. So again, I said it before, I know with Toylanta, but that's on my radar. I definitely would like to go. But again, it's the proximity to Zolo. Like Zolo takes a lot out of us, like so, and it's a whole weekend, and then the turn, because you're going to do it too. But it's like, we'll see. I definitely want to put all these shows on my list.
Yeah. See me Saturday night after Toylanta, and I'll tell you exactly how hard it is to do both shows weekend to weekend.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, so there's more shows coming. We're not going to go through them all here, but one of the reasons why I put those, especially those three, talking about those three, is because they're coming up next month. But ZoloCon is getting Skullman. Is it Skullman?
No, Skullman was last year. This is you blanked me on it.
Okay, guys,
it's not Headhunter. Is it Headhunter? No.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
It's awesome, is what it is.
It is
Headhunter. See, I got it. Headhunter. Yeah.
So that was it. Headhunter.
Thanks, Jordan.
So, thank you, Jordan. So Skullman was last year. This is Headhunter. Gonna be have a little bit of extra that you won't get from the regular release when it's released through Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
But what a great figure.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I mean,
this
is fantastic.
And if it's anything like Skullman was, so let's not forget that Skullman, when they did the regular direct release, that guy sold out on the ISS in like an hour.
Yeah.
He went faster than anyone else. Super low quantity production. Like, if you're gonna get it, like I would say, like you should figure out how to rope it in at the show. They had extras, right, Amber? They had extras last year of Skullman. Like you could go to the table and buy them. Like, and it wasn't hard. There was a lot.
Yeah.
So I think if you go to the show, you're okay. Like I wouldn't, freak out about it, right, Amber? Is that?
No, I wouldn't, because like there was, and people were getting like boxes and boxes at the time.
Yeah, he wasn't like crazy hard, but I feel like this year ZoloCon's kind of reached this next level show status where there's a lot of vendors, there's 210 individual vendors, and there's tons of toy companies there. Spiro Toys, obviously Four Horsemen, D13, who else is there? Diamond Toys. There's just tons of, because it's like once they saw Marauder, Gunrunner, Vala, like there's a ton of like toy people there. So it's going to be crazy this year, like crazy. So new venue. Yeah.
I've got my in for ZoloCon. She's got me.
Yeah. Those Gonzaleses are good people. They'll take care of you.
And I got her, for Toylanta. So
works out. We're good.
It does.
We're good.
So the special effects are the green parts are what you're getting extra when you get it at ZoloCon, which are the same parts but a different color that we just got with the Undead pack.
I love those disco boots. Those are nice.
Oh, I know. The boots are amazing. There's so much to love about this character. I mean, so much.
Yeah. I'll tell you a little secret. There is some people at the studio that hate those boots. And I was like, you're crazy. I won't say who they are because I love those boots. And I was like, you're crazy. Those boots are awesome.
Yeah, I like the boots. I think they're really neat.
Yeah, I'm super happy for Mike, who runs the show, because he does the Realm of the Underworld figures. He's done them for years, a long time. And if anyone's not familiar, they're just they are, he has the license on them, and they were made by Remco in the 80s, and they're kind of known as Motu knockoff. They were like, there was Masters of the Universe, and then Remco wanted their own type. So they did like some knockoff type figures, Skullman, Headhunter, and Mike has the license to them. So he makes them in the 5.5, inch scale, similar to they were made in the 80s. And last year he paired with the studio to do like, their version of some of the more popular characters. First one being Skullman, and now the next one is Headhunter.
Gotcha.
See, Joe Vassapolo saying it wasn't him. He says he loves the boots. You're all right, Joe. We know who it is.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. And then for Toylanta, we have ALT 25, which is a great repaint. And I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah,
I love it. So cool. I love that they're bringing in the humans, the cosmic. I know it was something they weren't going to do, but this fits. This looks so good.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking forward to going to Toylanta just so I can see this guy here.
See him? You're going to own him.
I am.
Come on, Tanya. Don't just look at him.
And an extra one for Amber.
Yeah, and don't forget Amber.
I got to take care of my girl.
Yeah.
Amber, Kevin's talking about the ZoloCon.
I got you, Kevin.
Valaverse.
You need me. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
So. Amber, is there a Valaverse exclusive?
I believe there is.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, there is. So
cool.
There is. I can't remember what it is, but there is.
Yeah. Amber's got us, honey. I got you. That's right. Yes. Amber's doing the Lord's work. Absolutely. So Necronominus is being shipped out now. And most of the all-ins should be out. And they said, I think the 2-packs are being shipped. So, I have loved seeing all of the figures, all of the reviews, all of the, customs that people have made, popping and swapping and things that have been going on with these characters. This has been a very, very fun release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't wait to get mine. I don't have them. I will be getting a lot of them, but like I being a retailer, I don't have them until I have them, and I don't have them. So it sucks because I'm like, it's like it's a couple of weeks now watching people having fun, and I'm like, because I love them too. I was a fan first and foremost, so it's like I really want these.
I know.
Yeah.
And how do you, I mean, as a retailer, how would you you just purchase all of yours as a retailer and they come to you, but it almost makes me think that it might be worth it to put in your personal order.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could do that. Like that's actually something I could do, like just order an all in, but I don't think it's like any shock to anyone that the retailers get them for a certain price. So it's kind of like one versus the other. Like, do I want to and I think that when this happened, I was like, no, I'm just going to order what I order, but it's okay. It's all good.
It is all good. And I can't wait for you to get them too, because that means the retailers around me have them and I can go get the extras that I want. I mean, we got extras of a couple of them, but now that I've seen them, like I want extras of some of the ones I didn't get extras of. So
yeah.
Then the All-Star 6 is in production, and then the Book 1 Thraxon, Ox Crew Book 1 Thraxon is in pre-production. And that's awesome. Like, I cannot wait to get this Ox Crew. these new suits, space suits, the new characters, all of the stuff. I mean, it's such a great wave. Like, I can't wait to get these in hand.
Yeah. Just, I don't want to go back. I'm sorry to do this, but someone asked about a street date, for Necronominus.
No, go
and
ahead.
I will say to everyone, no, unfortunately, it's, as much as we do. Like Jeremy said, I think in the show last night, still looking at very end of this month, early March.
Right.
That's all we know. I know it sucks, but like that's all we,
Yeah, but trust me, as soon as he knows, you all will know.
Yeah.
Because it will be everywhere. Gonna be everywhere.
And going back then, I agree with you, Tanya. Cosmic Ox Crew is going to be a game changer in the Cosmic line. If you remember back a while back, they showed us like the breakaway schematics of those suits with how all the parts like fit, and there's so many parts. It's going to be like that whole new buck meaning like body part system that is different than anything we've ever seen the studio do. And I think it's going to blow their minds, and it's going to really change like the face of Cosmic. That's my opinion anyway. I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, I am too. I think these are going to be amazing. And then we have pre-production on the Rising Suns, pre-production on Ashes of Agbendar, and then book 2, Hero Zone, is going to be again pre-production. But we have Graveyard Skeletons that are on the water. Should be here really soon. The Reign of the Beast, the retailer pre-order is still open. And then the Mythic Legions book and Silver Knight retailers are doing their orders as well for that one. And I just cannot wait for these either.
Yeah, they're really cool. And again, everyone, just so you know, no street date on these yet. But yeah, I mean, they're coming. It's going to be a skeleton avalanche.
Yeah.
Between the two waves.
I think we got one of these sets from you because you were going to do the extra heads with them.
Yep. And it's a little, these were supposed to come Q2. So when they said they're coming Q1, I was like, oh, okay, well, all right. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I have to I am literally like printing all of them now and the stuff for Necro. So it's a little crazy. I'll be straight up honest, like anyone that ordered the painted version of this, where it was the part set of 4 heads that Jesse's painting,
right?
There's a really good chance they're not going to be shipped on the street date. Sorry. Like I think people should be understanding of that, because we don't even have like a paint sample in hand. Because as far as I know, they don't really quite match anything else. So we thought we were going to be able to cheat a little and like use the paint, like match off of some other figure, you know what I mean? To be like, okay, this is what it's going to be. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's the case. And there doesn't match anything. Yeah, we got to give Jesse some breathing room on this one, I think. So there's a really good shot. I'm not saying that's definite, but when we know what the street date is, we'll be able to figure that out. So if you ordered the painted ones, just read and find out type of thing.
Yeah. Well, we got this set from you to get the painted ones from Jesse. We are okay waiting because we know that it's going to take some time.
Oh, did you get the painted? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm talking to you then, Tanya. Sorry. It might take. It won't be that bad, because I mean, he's going to have them in hand and he can start like the prep and everything on them. But we just need to. It could be something where like they give us the street date and the figures in the same week, and it's like, oh well, how am I going to handle this? So we'll see. We'll see. That's the thing when you're trying to do different stuff and different types of promotions and things, like there can be little, for the first time type things, there could be little like ruts in the road.
But I was super excited. The same price for the retailers to, help out the retailers and to, as it was from Four Horsemen. And Kevin and I just decided to support several of the retailers. So we've got these coming from a couple of different places. So,
Awesome.
but you know, it's no hurry. It is no, we discussed it and Kevin was like, we can wait and get these whenever he has them done. So
Great. Well, Jesse appreciates that.
yeah. And I get heads painted by Jesse. I mean, that was another like, woohoo, let's do that.
I love the box on them too. It's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the whole thing's really cool.
It really is. Okay. And then we know that the price and everything is coming in March. But I am so excited about this dragon. I am so excited. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
All right.
Literally.
Yes. All right. We went through all of that. Amber, I think we have some more
we had two
Super
super
chats,
chats
yeah.
from earlier
okay.
too. We had one that said hit the like button from Kevin Boots.
Yes, people hit the like button.
And Joe said, Len, I need more Lupus Rex.
All right, Joe. I'm gonna get on that. As soon as I'm cooled off with skeletons.
All right. Before we get started, Amber, we have 2 fantastic giveaways tonight. Everybody that saw Len's video earlier, and Len, we are very, very thankful that you are supporting the ladies and giving away an Alithia and her horse tonight. That's amazing. Thank you. We cannot.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I just, I think of things like last minute. I got that ADHD brain, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I was like, we got to give this away. So sorry to surprise even you guys with it, but what the hell? It's fun, right? Why not?
Yeah, that is fantastic, and we are super excited to give that away. Ryan has something special that she's gorgeous. Ryan has something special that we are going to give away. So let's start, Amber, if you are ready with that. Let's show that and then start taking names for that so we can go ahead and get that on the.
Oh, nice.
Is it going to show up? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He painted a head. Oh, there it goes.
There it is.
Perfect. Oh, no, you lost it.
Oh, I lost it. You had to get closer. I'm not good at this thing, but you guys saw it for like a second.
That is amazing. So Ryan painted this one for you guys. So we are going to do the giveaway. And do you want to bring up the giveaway hashtag?
That is our old man Kitsune head, which is like a villain from the Kitsune like subsect of our line. That was Jeremy's creation with Walter DeMarco. And if anyone, Ryan doesn't paint a whole lot. When he does, he's super talented. I tell him you got to paint more. So whoever wins this is going to be lucky because Ryan does a freaking awesome, beautiful paint jobs.
He really does.
Nice. And he worked very hard on it.
And we are super excited to be able to give that away. So hashtag cute kitsune, and we are going to give that away in a little bit. All right. I think we are ready for some questions.
Are you ready for some questions, Len?
Oh, you guys asked me questions?
Yes.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, sure. I'll try my best.
About your whole life.
Oh, the whole thing?
It's
a long life, guys, just so you know. I've been here. I haven't been here as long as Trevor, but I've been here long.
Well, we'll start it off with where did you grow up?
In New Jersey.
Really?
In Milford, New Jersey, which is a river town near Frenchtown, New Jersey, which again nobody hears about. Very I want to say secluded part of New Jersey on the border with Pennsylvania. No cities, all farms. you know, where I actually live, there's not even like really even a town. Like I say that Milford's the town, which is really like literally a 1-horse town because it's the closest thing. You know, 20-minute drive to the nearest grocery store type of thing. There are places like that in New Jersey, believe it or not. And that's where I grew up. And that is where I still am to this day.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Do you have
And
siblings?
I do have 2 older sisters.
Oh, that's cool. Do you get along with them well?
Yeah. Yep.
'Cause some people don't like having older sisters. I have an older brother, but
I mean, they tortured me somewhat. My oldest sister was 10 years older than me. So there was a gap there to where she, like, I'm not going to say took care of me, but like, you know, during the years when she was like in college, like I would go spend time with her at college. She used to take me like to the skate shops or places I wanted to go when I was of that age. So, you know, it was cool. I have super fond memories of like hanging out with her and her just like toting along her little 10-year-old brother, you know, to places when she was like 20. So
I love that.
yeah.
So fun. What do they like? What do they think of what you do? Like,
My sisters,
yeah,
oh, they think it's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. My older sister is a speech and language pathologist, and
Okay.
my middle sister owns her own bakery. So
Oh,
yeah, we do kind of like a little artistic easy stuff, you know, like that.
that's so cool. Do they collect figures at all?
No.
Let's see. What was your favorite thing about your hometown?
Oh, that's a good question, and I can't really think of a good answer right now. The reason why is because I've been here so long. Like I'm starting to have the desire to see other places, like not even just see, but like I don't know if I want to stay. Like I want to see the desert. I want to spend time there. I want to be not in the mountains. I want to be maybe see it in Missouri, what the flat earth is like, you know, like I just have this desire now at this age. Like, I guess it's that empty nest syndrome to be like, I really just want to see other places. So, you know, we're in the mountains. There's mountains and trees, forest. We're in the middle of a forest, like where my house is. There's a Delaware River's right down the road in Milford, you know, and it's cool, but like I'm just ready to see other things. So I guess I'm not in the like mindset of giving my favorite thing. I guess the river. Like I like the river, like seeing it, you know,
Do you
hiking.
ever float down it?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
my
in a
favorite
tube.
summer
Yeah.
activity.
One day I'm gonna float down to Philadelphia. I'll have Anthony and Patrick pick me up.
I love
I
that.
think we figured once it would take like, oh god, we actually figured it out once how long it would take a boat, like a little boat full of mythic legions, if I launched it from here to reach them. And it wasn't that long. I think we could do it.
I love that.
That's an
The fact that
experiment that's got to happen, man.
yes.
Yeah, you know, it might get caught up at certain points, but you know, I think it could happen. I think it'd be a
It'll
thing.
get there eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
That's cool. That's cool.
Did you collect action figures as a kid?
Oh yes. Oh
What
yes.
did you collect?
Let's see. I actually have some of them here because I was doing a project recently. I had from my earliest, I had Micronauts.
Oh, that's cool.
This was actually one of my Micronauts. I really love the Defenders of the Earth series, Ming the Merciless.
Oh.
What else did I have? I love these little robots, these little like Tomy robots.
Oh, that's
Recognize
cute.
those at all? Do you guys recognize them or no? It's like past, like they're a little older, but I love the Tomy robots. I love anything Motu. This is a Remco. This is one of those knockoffs we were talking about earlier. So I love those. And I collected Joe's, G.I. Joe. I collected Power Lords. I loved all toys when I was a kid, and I was really lucky that we had this strange little place near us called the barn, and it was literally like a barn. And when you went in, it had cement floors, and it was like, I guess it was like Big Lots before Big Lots, because they would literally just have open boxes, like the stuff the boxes the stuff would ship in. They would open them up and cut the tabs and put them all around on the floor, and then just put signs on them on how much it cost. So they had a lot of toys, and it was weird toys because it was probably all closeout stuff. Like it was a lot of Power Lords and like just not those, you wouldn't go in there and see G.I. Joe or He-Man. So I had this really eclectic collection of toys as a kid of just weird stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's really interesting the way that all came about.
Yeah. And luckily I had a mom that, she like when I got out of the toy thing, like when I was kind of older, I think I was like in 8th grade when I kind of just stopped. She actually like packed everything up and like put it away in like storage, like in the basement or somewhere, but it was clean. And when I got back into the toys, I just found out she had all of them still. So it was really cool. And I actually do have like a lot of my Joes from being a kid and a lot of my Motu. So that was fun. The big stuff like the gray skulls and that got thrown out. I think my dad threw it all in a dumpster at one point, but the smaller stuff was all saved. And I actually do. I have a lot of it. Like I said, a lot of this stuff, because I had it, I'm changing displays up and I'm putting them over the desk. So a lot of it's moved up there. But yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, that is awesome.
I have an off-brand question that I just received via Messenger.
Okay.
Can you ask Len if he likes the taste of Metamucil or Miralax better?
Well, you can tell Trevor that there's this other stuff that they make. It's in a purple bottle. Lies. It's a white bottle with a purple lid, and it's a clear liquid, and you can put that into anything. It's a clear powder, and you can mix it in water, and you don't even taste it, and it's phenomenal. But I'll have to tell Trevor, I'll send him the name.
Oh. Before we move on, we have another super chat.
Oh. Let me see. Oh.
Miralax, yes, so someone know.
Ask Len about 8-tracks.
Well, had this discussion with my friends that I was born, I'm a little older than a lot of like my peers that I'm friends with. Not much. But I was saying that I actually remember like 8-tracks being a thing that weren't a novelty. Like I remember being in like a car, like my sister's car, that like she had an 8-track player and 8-track tapes like that you could play in them. And it wasn't like a weird thing. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. It's like retro. Like it was a thing. So yeah, I like remember some of that like really late 70s stuff. Yeah. Tony's shaking her head.
My mom and dad both had 8-track players in their cars when I was young. And then Kevin talks all the time. His grandfather had an 8-track player in his car. I mean, even up until he was like 8 or 9, and they'd be driving in the truck and that 8-track player would be playing the same music.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I grew up with those in the car. That was just,
I want to be that person,
we had one
but
at the house. I mean, that was just something that we did. So, Len, we are probably really close to the same age.
Yeah, maybe. And what's hilarious is like, here I am explaining to my kid like a month ago about having the CD players in a car and how you would have them in a car because they don't have them anymore, right? Like my van does because it's older and I love it. But remember, we used to have like the Discman and put it on the seat and hope it wouldn't skip when you hit a bump. And I'm like,
And then you had this big package full of all of these CDs that you had hidden under the seat.
My portfolio. I still have my portfolio. I was just so hilarious fact. Like they talk about cell phones being a distraction while you drive. Totally true. Do not cell phone and drive, right? Like no one should do that. But we grew up trying to find a freaking CD in an 84 folder of CDs and trying to pick the right one while you're driving. Like, talk about distractions. Holy hell. I was trying to do it the other day and I'm like, how am I not dead? I can't do this. I'm like, where's that Spin Doctor CD? I can't even find it.
Yes. Cell phones were not the first distraction.
No, by far no.
Do not answer your cell phone. Look at your cell phone while you're driving, but cell phones were not the first ones.
Yeah.
See, by the time I started driving, it was aux cords. So you would go through your iPod.
There was no iPods when we were driving.
Back in my day, we had our iPods.
Girl, 8-track tapes in the car.
Yeah.
and the little where you keep the license, the registration, and all that now.
The glove box.
The glove box was full of 8-track tapes. You just looked over and grabbed one.
Yep.
That's great.
I remember those. Okay. Sorry.
I remember
That was
cassettes,
right.
but that's as far back as I can go.
I mean, I definitely had cassettes. Like when I was driving, that's what you had were cassettes. But like this is like more when I was being driven. I remember the 8-tracks. But funny though, if you ever listen to like an 8-track in any recent time, not an 8-track, I'm sorry, a tape in a car, they sound horrible. Like tapes are horrible. But we didn't think about it back then. But we're so used to digital now. When you put a tape in, oh, they're awful. Awful.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's good. Let's see. Do you have any hobbies that you enjoy doing?
Yeah. I hike. I go hiking. My wife and I both do it. We do it once a week, every week, even if it's just like a short hike. And it's like we usually go between 4 to 6 miles, on a hike. On not just anywhere. We find places, like state parks, the Appalachian Trail type things, like those. So we really enjoy doing that. Like that's something we can do together, and we've been doing it for a while.
Oh, it's so cool. Do you have a favorite spot?
Right now, I think it's always like the last thing you remember, but we did one called Wolf Rock last week. It wasn't this Monday, last Monday. And that's part of the Appalachian Trail. It's in Pennsylvania. And it was really cool. Like the destination spot, like the payoff spot, like at the end, is this massive, like, conglomeration of rock that, like, I don't know what geology created it, but it's amazing. And it's like, you can stand on top of it. It's 1,500 feet and just look out and see the other mountains, like the Delaware Water Gap across. And it was phenomenal. It was really cool.
I've been to a place called Ricketts Glen. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's like 2.5 hours from me, so probably far from you. But,
no, it's 2.5 hours for me too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Have you been?
We have not, but it's on our list. So that's going to be one we're going to be doing probably this year at some point. Yeah.
Keep trying to talk Ryan into going.
Oh, he should. It's great. It's good as hiking is very good for you as you get older. Not that you guys are getting older, but it creates a lot of dexterity. It uses muscles that you don't normally use. It keeps like your spatial like recognition right. It's supposed to really help, and it's just getting outside. So I
my
love
ankle because I'm just a clumsy person.
Well, you have to wear the right stuff. Yeah. Like when we go, it's really funny because like when we went to on the Delaware Water Gap, the one side that's the Appalachian Trail side, it's a moderately intense like hike. A lot of like rock scramble and like not like like scaling rocks, but it's like some parts of it you do have to use your hands. But every time we go, there's always people that are showing up with like flip-flops, like because they just are like, oh, let's go hike this. And usually they got like no offense to anyone out there, but usually they have like New York plates. Like they're like, let's go. And like we're doing it in the snow, like it's 20 degrees. And last week or 2 weeks ago, there was people like the kid wasn't even wearing a jacket, and we're like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you doing? But You know,
Oh my
they make it out like, you know, but then we're there like in full like hiking boots, spikes if you need them. You know, it's like it's kind of funny. We get a kick out of it.
I love that. Let's see.
What else you got?
Let me see. So, what was your first job?
Oh, let's see here. My first job my very first job was a paper
Yeah.
route, like many people, you know, walking through the neighborhood, delivering the papers. And I have to show up and knock on their doors to collect the money. Not a little book that you would like write it on and give them a coupon if they paid. Yeah, that was really like, I was really young. It was one of those things that like someone must have, someone of my parents must have thought it would be a good experience to have a 10-year-old knocking on people's doors looking for their paper money.
Yeah, but when you were 10 years old knocking on people's doors asking for money, it was a very different world than it is right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Candies like that.
Mhm. Yeah, there's no doubt. It was you know, it was cool. And then but I think my first like real job was I did a summer painting for a painting company, but then I did my first like job was I worked at a GNC in a mall. Remember GNC? The
Yeah.
General Nutrition Center. So
Mhm.
I worked for GNC, and I did that through like through my last like year or two of high school, and then through college. Like that's how I worked. And I was like I eventually I was like a manager of the store. And yeah, that's what I did. I worked at GNC for about like 7 or 8 years.
Who remembers that movie? I want my $2.
$2.
That was came from a movie.
What movie? I don't remember.
Oh, John Cusack movie. Kevin, if you remember it, tell us what it is. But it came from a movie. It was
Come on,
a
Kevin.
kid was trying to collect his paper route money, and they kept like not paying him. Something would happen and he wouldn't get his money, and he just kept going, "Where's my $2?" And like it was a big scene, him trying to get that $2. It was funny.
It sounds
Kevin,
familiar. It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
You know what sucked? You know what I hated about that was that they would add like people would contact the newspaper and do a subscription, and they would send you the new account. And I'm rural, like there's like gaps between houses. It's not like all development. And they added this house that was like it was I'm not kidding, it was a mile one direction. So for me to get to it was like it was 2 miles, like either on your bike or walking or however I did it. And it sucked. So I used to have my mom or my dad drive me just to do that one house. I'd be like, well, come on, just try. And they would do it. But then eventually, like, I think they got tired of it and they're like, all right, you don't have to do the paper out anymore. I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Paul actually said "Better Off Dead" with John Cusack. Yeah, it was called "Better Off Dead." It's
Okay.
it is so funny. But yeah,
Oh, that's great.
that was funny. All right.
So. Oh, go ahead.
Let me.
Oh, wait, we had a super chat.
Yeah, let's draw for this one, and then we'll put the other one up. Oh yeah,
Okay.
William.
And a super chat from William. Great time to be mythic.
Yes, it is. Yes,
All right,
it
let's
is.
see where we're at. We have 34 in there. Let me pull it up.
All right. You got another few seconds while she gets it pulled up. Hashtag cute kitsune. If you will hashtag that real quick. It is the kitsune head that was painted by Ryan Gonzalez. Beautiful.
All
So
right.
you got
We'll give
just
it
a
3,
few minutes.
2.
Are we ready?
Oh, we're drawing. Who's it gonna be? Da, da. Who's it gonna be? Paul Zach!
Hey, congratulations, Paul.
Great job,
Yay!
Paul. All right, Paul. Amber will get that out to you. If get in
Just
touch
contact
with
me.
Amber, either Facebook or Instagram, and get her your information, and we will get that sent out to you.
Yes, we will. Should we put up the other one?
Yes, let's start collecting.
Uh,
That one ready. So, Lynn, do you want to show us what you are giving away? Lynn has graciously provided with us an Alithia and her horse.
Yee.
I'm so excited. She is gorgeous. So you guys definitely want to grab that one. You have to be present to win, so stay in here while we finish talking with Lynn. All right.
And I don't know if you guys set rules for international, but if you're international, we'll work it out. Like, I don't want you not to have it, but like, yeah, international's a lot now. It's like,
it is.
So if I have to ship it international, we can work it out.
Right. All right. You gonna show that one?
Oh, duh.
Hashtag.
So, got it on it. I'm a slow person today. Year of the female.
Year of the female. Hashtag year of the female. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Yay.
All right. So let's start collecting those hashtags. Hashtag year of the female. We are going to draw for that one. Okay. All right. Sorry. Let's get back into the questions.
So let's see. How did you meet your wife?
Well, I met my wife. So this leads into the conclusion or the part 2 of the work story. When I left GNC and I finished college, I started my own business. I opened a coffee shop in a mall. It was a coffee ice cream shop. So I'm not saying it predated Starbucks, but there was no Starbucks really in the area. It was like kind of before. So it was it was gourmet coffee and ice cream. And we were directly across from a JC Penney's, and the JC Penney's had one of the department managers would come over every day for coffee. Like, coffee when you're working, you get it all the time. And she came over all the time, and we just talked, and eventually we got married. So yeah, we met there in a mall. And sad to say, not to bring it down, but that mall is now rubble. Like the New Jersey malls are really like fading into myth. And it is actually like it is literally right now in piles of rubble. And we were just at the Kohl's that was attached to it and oddly is still freestanding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it's still open. And we happened to go there to do an Amazon return. And my goal is to like sneak into this site and steal some of the rubble, because it's literally like mountains of like, they just pulverized the old like cinder block and everything, because we thought it'd be cool to have like a jar filled with that of like where we met all those years ago.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, it was a fun time. It was a mall rat situation. I was young, and there was a EB Electronics Boutique right across from me, and all those guys, we were friends with all of them, and like we just did all the video games, like all that stuff you do in your early 20s. And there was a bar in the mall, and like all the mall employees would go to the bar like every night, and you'd stay there till it closed. And it was just a different like world and vibe, but it was really cool.
I remember
those years, Lynn.
Yeah, it was fun. I look fondly back at it, and it was, it was a lot of fun. Like, just because you knew everyone that worked everywhere, and you were like the hub spot where all the employees would come to buy their coffee to get through the day. And, you talk to everyone and find out what's going on. It's like a whole little mall, like little society.
It was.
That's so cool.
It is.
Yeah, I see Trevor saying that's so Jersey. It is Jersey, but it's also Long Island too, buddy, and you know it. Roosevelt Fields.
Do you have any children?
I do have one, and he's in college right now. So we are empty nest, and it's weird.
Is this so
When
like
did he
quiet?
Freshman, so it just happened
Okay.
not that long ago. But yeah, it's like super quiet and super like you just get to that. You're like, wow, the goal was achieved. Our work is done. Now what? Like you're kind of like, it's definitely weird. The first like couple months, like at like the 2:30 mark of every day, I found subconsciously I was leaving the house. Like I was like, I gotta go to Target. I gotta go do this. And I couldn't, and then I was like, why am I leaving the house every day? Because I work from home, obviously. Like I even, and it was because that's when I would always get the bus, right? Like I'd always make sure I got him off the bus at the end of the day. And then since I wasn't doing it anymore, I just had that like need to like do something at 2:30. I was like,
Yeah.
why am I going to Target every day? What's going on? It was weird, really weird.
Let's see. If there was a perfect job created just for you, what would it be?
It would definitely involve selling action figures. And I think it would be like a traveling salesman where I could just do shows all around the country and sell action figures to people.
That would be so
Yeah,
cool.
like Mythic Legions action figures, particularly. Like if I could like bring the glory that is Mythic and Cosmic Legions to across the country and world, that would be it, because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Like even now when I pack orders for people, like I'll pick up a figure and I'll look at it and be like, this is really cool. This is a really cool figure. I'll be like, put it in the box and be like, have a safe voyage, figure. And knowing that someone on the other end is going to open that up and be like, wow, this is so cool. Like it just gives you a lot of joy. And I thought it would wear off a little, but it really hasn't. Like I'm still like that. Like even if it's like one figure, like I'll make sure when I'm packing the box, like when they open it up the right way, it's looking the right way and the presentation is right. Cause I think about that and it just makes me happy. So yeah, I would definitely be doing kind of what I'm doing.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So many answers in the comments for this. So it's nail stripper, tiny head maker, toy designer, toy solicitor, just so many unique.
Yeah.
I love these answers.
That was funny.
So you collect Mezcos, right?
Yes, Amber, you know me. You got me. Yeah, I love Mezco 112. I think it's like I really like the Mego toys, like from the late 70s, really early 80s. I didn't have a whole lot of them, but I remember being a little kid and really wanting them. Like it was like that thing you desired, but for some reason, like I didn't really have them. And maybe that's what stuck in my head, but I thought they were so cool with like the soft goods and the way they look. And so when I found Mezco for the first time, I was like, oh, these are so cool. Like I love them. I love them, and I'm a little crazy with them, but like I really like them a lot. They just like hit that note for me.
Are you like a completionist, or do you just like cherry pick here and there?
I should. The responsible me says I am a cherry picker on them. Like I don't like, because there's a lot, as you know, right? There's a lot of them. It's an eclectic line where there's a lot of different ones, and some of the franchises like that they might have a figure of, like I might not even know what it is. Like I'll just be like, what is this thing with a pyramid on its head? I don't know, but I'm buying it. So like unfortunately, so I had a list recently that I put up for looking to do trades with, and I listed the ones I was missing, and I don't remember the exact number. It looked like a big list, but when you consider how big their list is of like what they've put out, it was a small number. So if I had to put a percentage, I would say I'm probably like 85% complete in the 112. So there's some really tough ones I still have to get that are just, they're priced out of like where I would go. Like I have a limit. Like I'm not gonna, pay like an exorbitant amount on these things, but if I could do trades and get them some different ways, then I'm all for it. But yeah, I mean, I'm mainly like, I'm really into the Rumble Society ones, like the Gomez
Yes.
World, and
Favorite.
yeah, they're so cool. And I really like the superhero ones. I like the DC ones a lot, and I like the Marvel ones. You know, the
Yeah.
other ones like are just oddball, but some of them are pretty cool too. So yeah, I don't have much restraint with it.
It's
And I
fun.
also collect the Motu. I did collect all the Motu. Like I was really into like pretty much everything with it, but I dumped a lot of it. Like when was that? 2 years ago? Like I got rid of a lot of it, and now I only do the Mondo 6 scale Motu.
Okay. Andy said he got his first Legions trading you a Mezco.
Yeah. You know, it's, hey Andy, what's up, man? You know, it's crazy because like I brought a lot of people into the line trading Mezco for Legions. People that collected Mezco that heard about Legions, and when they saw me like looking for trades, we did it. And there's a lot of people I see in still in the world. Like there's still, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I brought that guy in because I did a trade with him. And funny even still is back in the day, like Jeremy and I have been friends for years, and he did the same thing. So like between him and I, like we brought a lot of people in doing trades for Legions for Mezco, and now that's like his job. Like he's just bringing people. That's his job to bring people into the line. And it was just, it's really funny. It's just
It's so crazy to think like Jeremy like before to like Jeremy now. Like I remember standing in line behind Jeremy and his son at at ToyCon, I think it was.
ToyCon, yeah.
And I
It
was
was
like,
probably
and,
that
like we
first
just like
ToyCon.
talked and like it was normal. And then I was like, oh my, like later on in life, you're like, that's Jeremy Gerard.
Yeah, it was probably the first Legions Con ToyCon, Amber, probably that, because that was the one where like I remember that like everyone that was at Legions Con, like the people that showed their customs and stuff, were all in that line, and they were buying stuff like crazy. I can't remember what came out. I remember the Ogre Legion builder was new at the time. And I remember Dennis walking by me with like his arms were all the way down and he was stacked up to his chin. Dennis, tall guy, right? Like of these ogres. And I'm like, what's he doing? I'm like, why is he buying all those? Because it didn't like click that like these guys like would keep stores of them for any customs they want to do or whatever. And I remember seeing him and thinking like, I hope he left one for me. But like it was so funny.
Oh, Joe said it was. Vern was in front of me in line, and then he said Torgan was at the table.
Yeah, I remember I got Torgan there. Yeah. Who was Joe? There was you had to buy Torgan with what's her name? The one that a lot of people give a hard time to, the Templar, like red and black female.
Is it Caspia or no?
No, that's the barbarian.
The Hadriana?
Hadriana. Was it? Yeah, it was. I think you had to buy those two together, Torgan and Hadriana together.
Oh, Faustia.
Hey, look, my buddy's here.
Yeah.
Faustia.
He said it was Faustia, not
We're close. We're gonna get there eventually.
What's up, buddy? Yeah, I was at that show with him, so he would remember. Whatever. Cookie's got the memory of like no one you'd ever like. If I need a fact check on like something we did, I'm like, what was this? And he'll be like, boom, like he has it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Cool.
So how did you start with your t-shirt, like doing t-shirts and like hoodies and stuff?
Well, that's a good question. So when I had the coffee shop, actually no, it predates that. So when I was at GNC, the guy who owned the store and I ran it for him, he was opening a bar in Easton, Pennsylvania, and he needed shirts done. And he needed art for it. And I was in college at the time, and I took art classes in college, and I did the design for him. this is going back when you had to draw stuff, and like, or like you had really rudimentary, like I want to say the program was Corel Draw 4 was what I was using. And I had to go to this guy's house. He had in his house, like in his basement, he had like a 4-up screen printing setup, and I had to go bring the art to him. And I saw like what he was doing, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like it stuck in my head. And then after that, when I had the coffee shop, I needed shirts done. So I did the same thing, and I went to the same guy, and I was like watching him do it. And it just like introduces you to this like craft, because it really is. It's like a craft screen printing. It's not like you're just, hitting a button and the machine does it for you. And when it was clear that the mall was really like not doing well, I started like part-time doing graphic design and screen printing for people. Like I got a small setup, and I was still doing both because I knew there'd be a transition. Like the mall wasn't going to last forever because the anchors closed, like the Kmart that was in there closed, the Pennies was going to close. So then I made the transition into doing the screen printing. It was a little stumble in the beginning, but I built up a clientele with like schools, like municipalities, things like that. And that's awesome. Yeah, that's how that started. And signs too. Like I did a lot of signs, banners, stuff like that, because at that coffee shop I wanted to do my own menu boards. Like none of the places I went to would do them the way I wanted them. So I was like, I'm gonna do these. I'll figure out how to do it myself. And I ended up doing it, like buying a sign making machinery and stuff, and doing it myself just to make these freaking menu boards. And then I'm like, well, I could do this for other people. And then that's evolved too. So out of necessity, that's how it worked.
Cool. So just a quick Paul Zach threw out there, who's going to the flea market or Chubsy Wubsies on Sunday to meet Mr. Stevie from Hasbro. I would like everyone to know that I'll be at Chubsy Wubsies if anybody wants to see me.
Oh, nice.
Yay. I think we have a super chat too. Let's check that out real quick. Yeah, I think we got another super chat.
Oh yeah. Matt Stein. It's Len, my man.
See Matt's cool custom he put out today?
Oh, that was beautiful.
The Druger, the Dark Dwarf.
Oh,
absolutely.
That was so good.
Super.
Feeling better from surgery too.
I think he just like put it up right before we were gonna. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you might have missed it just
because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. Matt's super talented. He took a little break, and I was like, "Get back on it, man! Don't fall off the horse, buddy. Go ahead. You don't need your feet to paint."
No.
Love you,
Amber,
Matt.
Paul said he's going to be there, so you can take him the Kitsune head instead of mailing it to him.
Yes, good.
Oh, nice.
Tanya, always using that noggin. Oh, right. So, Len, where did the name Wolf King come from?
Well, you see, what happened was, I started making stuff. I started making little heads before I even had a name for the company. And we needed to have a website like made fast because we were like wanted to sell the first of our little heads. Oddly and coincidentally, it was Kitsune, but not that old one. It was the younger one that we started with. Yeah. And I really needed like, I'm like, I need a name. What's in a name? And I will tell you, like, one of my favorite parts about starting any business is coming up, like brainstorming all the logos, the names, the designs. Like my coffee shop, and I'm not saying this to brag, it looked like a franchise. Like everyone thought it was a franchise. Like they were like, it just didn't look like, I threw it together because it was matching uniforms, like everything. Cause I love that. I love the setup, unfortunately I'll get a little bored after a year or two, but I love building businesses. And, at the time, so I really need a quick name. And one of my favorite books of all time, I can't even say one of my favorite book and book series of all time is The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. And there is a character in it named Perrin, and he isn't like really, in little parts of it, and he's called the Wolf King. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. He's associated with wolves, so he was my favorite character. And funny because you evolve as you read it many times of who your favorite character is. I think every time I read the series, I pick another one as my favorite. And but at that time, Perrin was, so I said, Wolf King Customs. That sounds good. Let's go with that. So I was a little afraid it would sound very arrogant, because if people know me, if you know me, I'm not a very like arrogant person. I didn't want to imply that I was the king. Like, so I was like, no, I don't want to be Wolf King. Like, that's just the name of the business. I'm not a king. Like, I thought it was a little pretentious, but I liked it. I threw together the logo, and I was like, other people I showed it to were like, yeah, it's cool. I'm like, all right, done. Let's do it. So that's how that happened.
I love that.
So this last time that you read the series, who was your favorite character?
So I am currently I am on the second to last book of this reread, and I would say actually Rand, the main character, is actually one I am actually enjoying more, because like I said, every time you read it, you really just take a different like perspective on the characters. Yeah. Now this time this reread, I'm doing it with a podcast. There's this wonderful podcast called Wheel of Time Spoilers Podcast, and it's totally for people that have read it multiple times, because they talk about they don't care. There's no spoiler warning, but each episode of the podcast is a chapter. So I've been trying to coordinate that with my book reads. So I'll do the book read first, and then I'll do their chapter next. And it's really cool because I mean, I've been reading this for years. You get like just totally different perspectives on what's going on. And you catch things that you're like, oh, I never even realized like that was that deep, that he wrote that deep, that in book 10, he's calling back from book 1. Yeah. And, people obviously smarter and more literate than me are able to observe that. And it's really cool to be able to do it in real time. So I think last year I caught up with them to real time. So now, now I'm at that phase where it's like I have to slow do it, because they only do one episode a week. So I'll have to stop and not get too far ahead, and it's a little trickier. But it's really cool. I really like doing it that way. It's a lot of fun.
So last year when I read it, Matt was my favorite, and all the way through, he's fantastic.
Yeah, Matt's great. He's a great character. Yeah.
I want to make a Matt figure.
Do it.
Put that together.
Do it. Patrick and I would go nuts. Patrick Boyle and I bond over that because it's our favorite series. And our motto is what's a good book to read after the Wheel of Time? Oh, Wheel of Time. I literally almost am in a constant phase of reread with this. I took a break because I said, when they did catch up, I did the Silmarillion. I just finished it last week. That's heavy. Silmarillion is heavy read. I did it when I was younger in book form. I did it once before in audio, and this is my third time in audio, and I got more out of it, I think, because I was relating it to the series a little more. Mm-hmm. That's heavy. So now I jump back to the Wheel of Time, to the second to last book. And we got Nate Armstrong into it too.
Yeah, I will say that it is a very difficult read the first time through, because how many characters there are in that book.
Yes. Yeah.
They get confusing. Sometimes you think it's talking about one character and it's actually talking about another one. Yeah. And so trying to keep everything straight, my sister-in-law is the one who got me into it. And so I would ask her, what's going on here? I'm reading about this. She's like, no, the name is different. You're reading this person. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, Jordan had a way of using a lot of S names. And especially when he was naming the Aes Sedai characters, they sound really all the same. And, there's a part of the whole series that they call the slog. I don't know if you heard of that, Tanya, but they call it the slog. And it's where he gets a little muddy. I mean, it's 12, 13 books. It's going to happen. But I kind of got through it this time, and maybe it's because of the podcast I was using, but it wasn't as bad, like,
Okay.
but you're right. Like it does, especially those parts, it gets a little confusing,
all the character, if he would have cut it down by half, it would have been a much easier read, but it was very difficult to read. It was my first read through was very, very difficult. So my sister-in-law was like, so are you going to read it again? So I'm probably going to have to read it a second time for her.
Yeah. I think from doing it multiple times, you kind of learn who you don't have to pay attention to.
Right.
So like there could be some characters that are confusing that you're like, okay, I know I don't really have to pay attention to who Muscle-Varian is, because like they're never going to show their face again.
Right.
Like, so it does get kind of better, because I think you get who you can glaze over like a little more. But yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. I really enjoy it. I do read a lot. Like I don't just read that, but I really do. I really do love it a lot. It was taken over, as Tanya, I know that Robert Jordan died before it was finished. Luckily, Brandon Sanderson took over. Yeah, and he did a wonderful job. But now, like, I am noticing more of a difference in the literary
how much
styles.
of a difference there is between. Yeah. And so I'm a reader. I mean, roughly 200 books a year.
Wow.
So I read a lot. So actually, reading that through the first time took me forever. But like I noticed the difference reading it because of how much I read, and how much I love books and how much I love authors and stuff. So I noticed a difference, but it was, it would be hard if you didn't read like I do.
Yeah, no, definitely. I read a lot of Sanderson, in between those books and like after and around, because it was just so it was there, and I could definitely pick him out of it like more. I like Sanderson, like I like his other stuff. It's really good. I was doing what's the one, Oathbringer? What's that series?
I haven't read anything else of his.
Oh, you haven't? Some of his stuff is really good, and some of it I didn't like. I read a lot of his stuff, but there was his big tome series, like they're huge. And I think the last one was Oathbringer, but it's Stormlight Archive. Thanks, Joe. The first two were phenomenal, but I couldn't get through the third. Like I was like, this is weird. Like it just took weird turns. Like not weird in, like you were saying, like as someone that reads a lot, like it took weird literary changes in the tone that just didn't make sense. But Stormlight Archives is really good to kind of get on. Sorry, I didn't mean to wander.
No, I know. And I'm sorry that I jumped in there, but I love that is a book that you love, and we are going to have to sit and talk about it sometime, because I love that series.
Yeah, I could talk about it forever because it's just like phenomenal. I'd love to go to South Carolina and see like the Citadel Museum. I think the Citadel has his museum, or is it a library? There's a museum of his whole, like everything is there. His desk, like, because his wife, who was his editor, his lifelong editor, Harriet, donated everything to this library. I think it was the Citadel's library, because he graduated from the Citadel, like he was a military guy, and he's a phenomenal writer, and apparently he was a phenomenal person too.
So Jeff wants to know if it's as good as the Amazon series.
I'm going to say it's better, but the problem with the Prime series is that the first season was weird. It didn't do the books a lot of justice. The second season, they kind of like caught it a little better, but still not great. It took, I can't really say without doing some type of spoiler, but it took Patrick kind of giving me a different perspective on why the show was different to make it click. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then I watched it again from that point of view, and I was like, oh shit, like this makes sense now. And it was much better from that. And again, like, I don't want to like say, because it's like, not that it's spoiling like something major, but like I don't watch movie previews. Let's put it that way. Like, because I like to go in clean, so I don't like to say too much.
Right. It's not the same as the book, but there are reasons why they did things the way that they did, but it's still not the same as the book.
Right.
And the book is always better.
Always
Yes.
better. The book is always
Yes.
So, yeah. Sorry to go off on a tangent. That was.
No, you're right. Like, I mean, I would say I know this doesn't age well because the way it ended, but like, you know, Game of Thrones was pretty darn close to being as good as the books, like in my opinion. I mean, the books were really good, but that show was pretty, you know, till the end, that show was pretty freaking good. Like, I would say that hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
Oh, Curtis, you can read, buddy. Just sound it out. Have Darla read it to you.
It's called audio books. You don't have to read a thing. You just listen.
I try to tell Curtis to do audiobooks. I don't know why he doesn't do them. I guess some people just don't like them, but the Wheel of Time audiobooks are really good. They're done well. There's new ones that you can get with Rosamund Pike that I don't have them, but I heard they're really good. She does an excellent job. But the original ones were done by Kate Redding and Michael Kramer, and they do an amazing job. Yeah.
They're fantastic. So.
We do have a super chat also from Curtis.
Oh, no.
It says, Len came up with the name and personally designed the logo for Art by Ackerman. I'll be forever grateful. He's also the reason I went to my first LC. Look at that.
Yep. Art by Ackerman. It's the catchiest theme song ever.
That is the catchiest theme song ever. And you're listening to it 3, 4, 5 times a week.
I know. I was watching one today while I was working on the website, and it was he was painting a McFarlane figure, and it started playing right in the middle of it. I don't know why he did it. I think he just did it to make it stick in my head extra hard.
That's funny. Oh, okay.
Let's see. Do you remember what your first 3D printed item was?
Well, I think I can't remember I feel like it was like a Baby Yoda, like little model, because that would have been like timely for that, you know, like he wasn't even Grogu yet. Like I feel like that might have been like the first try. But then I did, oh no, I'm lying. So before I did resin printing and the whole like action figure thing, I was still 3D printing, but doing FDM printing, which is the ones that are like, they have like the spools of like plastic that feed into them. And they make the prints that are a little more like plasticky and like not as detailed. But I built 3D printers because I was always into printing, screen printing, banner printing, you know, large scale graphic printing. So when I sold my first 3D printer, I wanted to do that. So I bought a kit where you had to build it like from scratch and program it and everything. And I did that and it was fun. And then I bought another one and I had 2 of them running, and you just made all this weird stuff. And they were very finicky back then. This is probably like, oh boy, this was probably like 2017, 2016. And it was wild, but I did like a lot of stuff back then with those, and that probably would have been my first 3D models. I remember making this little octopus egg cup that you could put like an egg in, but it looked like an octopus and the egg was his head, and that was kind of neat. And then I made like parts for my Jeep because I used to have a Jeep back then, and I wanted brackets that you can take the mirrors off, or put the mirrors from the doors onto it when you took the doors off. So I designed like a bracket to do that and put them on both sides. I think the file's still like on Thingiverse. So yeah, I mean, I made like handy type things. Someone paid me to make prototypes for a patent on like a tool that they were doing. And yeah, so that was like my first foray into it.
That's awesome.
I got all the answers, Amber. I got them all. Hit me again.
What's your favorite thing about 3D printing?
I think it's just, you know, getting to be creative. What I really love, like in the now time, is that I get to print people's really cool art. So like I get to do Emil stuff. I've been doing Emil stuff for like 4 years or maybe more. And when he sends me something, I get to like have that like look at it when I open it and be like, oh, this is so cool. And then like set it up. And then when I pull it off the printer the first time, you got, like you get to see it and it just looks really neat. And I do it, and I get stuff from like Steven and I get stuff from the artists I work with that I pay to do modeling with. And it's really fun. That's the cool part. I love all the art of it. To like kind of like look at that first print and have it good. And then I used to paint, like I have everything. I haven't painted in like, I feel like it's been 2 years. But it's just as fun to see other people like paint them and post them, and you get to see like, oh, cool, that's beginning to end. That's really neat. So I love that part of it.
Is there anything that you dislike about it?
Yeah, it's messy. The resin printing is messy. It's dangerous. If you want to do it for an extended period of time and not get sick, there are precautions you have to take. And luckily I knew that from the beginning. Like I was always, I knew about it like from the beginning of how like hazardous it could be. So like there's a lot of procedure I go through, like when I go to like harvest the print farm, clean the prints, dry the prints. Like I have a thing I have to do whenever I do that, which is like, suiting up in the right gear, putting the right hazmat things on, going into the enclosed vented chamber where the printers are. Like I'm very meticulous with it. But it also gets tedious because it's not like a simple thing where you're like, I'm going to print this tonight and I'm going to show people it in 3 hours when it's done printing, because it's not how I work. That's why like we might be a little slower. There's some people that they're like, look, I just made this 3 hours ago. I modeled it and here it is. But I'm doing like a thing where I'm very careful,
I love that. That's cool. I always like going to like computer stores and like watching them like work.
Yeah, those are different. The FDMs are they're much safer. They're easier, they're fun. Like they're not messy. Like now FDM printers do put off some VOCs, which is volatile like organic compounds, into the air. So even if you have one, you should have a really good filter or vent your room. But they're much like safer. Like that's why you see them in schools, like or in different places, or that computer store, like you said, they'll have them running because they're safer. Resin is by nature, it's much different. Because it's like it has a thermo reaction when it cures. If you get like resin on your hand and you went out in the sun, you would get burnt because it would cure on your hand and it throws off heat. Years ago I took a playing card, and I had a video of this where I took the playing card and I put it under a UV light. I dipped it in resin, put it under a UV light, and it just smokes up like crazy because it shows you like how thermoreactive it is. Not to mention, like, a lot of people are allergic to it. If you get it on your skin, you can get dermatitis. So yeah, it's not like something to take lightly, and it throws off a lot of VOCs. But the other type, the FDM, doesn't. So it does, but not as much. And the FDMs that's why they're fun. Like I look at my days when I did FDM and I'm like, that was fun, because you could literally, like, after it was done printing, pop it off the bed and go and do whatever you want with it.
Oh.
Sorry, information dump.
No, we love it
because I'm learning so much.
I didn't even know there was a difference.
Yeah, so the resin, you can't really do FDM for the tiny heads. You wouldn't get all the detail, and no matter how good the printer is, there's still a little bit of line, like layer lining, that you would kind of see. They're very good now, the FDM printers, and you don't see it as much, but you do. And that plastic that it prints in is very hard to sand, like very hard to sand. So.
Sorry. So how did you come up with like who you like buddy with Wolfgang?
What do you mean buddy with?
Like your little buddies. Like how did you come up with your
Like
pals?
my
Patrick
Wolf
and
King.
Jesse and
Oh,
stuff.
well, you use names. It's not like you don't know us, Amber.
I know
You're
you
my
guys
pal
are
too.
my fans.
Well, right, our friends that go to all the shows with us. Yeah, that's how. Because we just I don't. Patrick, I think, hopped into Anthony's car and went with him for the first Legions Con, and I knew Anthony before that from we listened to the Wife Is Gonna Kill Me podcast. Like we were fans back then of it years like before that. So we kind of clicked because we live close to each other, and we were like, "Oh, that's cool. We live near each other." And I think we went to a show together. And Patrick hopped in his car, and then we got to be friends with him. And I don't know where Nate came from. Nate was just like, he's just that dude that made weird stuff. Oh, I can't tell the Nate story. I know where Nate came from. It was like Legions Con 2. It was like the one, what year was that? You know, the one that was in the lunchroom with the food there.
Oh,
You know that one?
I can't remember what year that was.
That's the one where I met
what you're
Nate.
talking about.
Yeah, Nate was like at my table and he was like talking my ear off. And we did a trade. He traded me something for some parts because I had a whole bunch of parts just thrown on the table. It was like crazy. And then we talked afterwards and I was like, this guy's got a crazy mind. Like he's really creative and crazy. And we just clicked because he was local too. So then Nate made the crew to go in all the shows, and kind of the same with Jesse. He's not like super local. He's like 2 hours from me, but I don't know how Jesse's just Jesse. He's just there. And I was like, hey, you want to be part of this? And he's like, yeah, I'll be part of it. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And like Joe said, back in the day, like I had this original crew of guys that I sent like parts to test. And like Joe, he didn't work for the studio. He was one of my guys that like I would send him stuff to test. And then like he painted for me. Like we sold them. We did a run of like accessories, and people probably still have them. They were like the turtle like weapons. And I think he did a hammer too. And like, yeah, Joe's like the studio guy, but he was like doing Wolf King stuff in the beginning. And, like Jeremy is still part of it and was part of it. And we just, yeah, I think it was just like that local, we got together because of the local shows. Like we just, we hit the shows together. And, I was like, everyone hangs out at the Horseman's table or the Wolf King table next to it. And, you know how it is. We just kind of hang out, and
I let people wait to do it in a couple weeks.
Yeah. I'm just happy this year that I don't have all that crap behind me. Like,
oh my goodness.
So Tanya, like a little insight. I think that like what happened at ZoloCon in previous years was, it was in a crazy old Air Force owned and operated building that was a centrifuge. Like Spies Like Us, like when they whip the pilots around, that's what this building was. So underneath the centrifuge is where the show was, a big donut, right? So the show was a big circle, and the centrifuge is still in this building. You could actually go up and look at it in the cockpit and everything. It was bonkers. The venue was phenomenal. It was so cool because you could like have your picture in the centrifuge, but we were against the wall of the centrifuge and there was this huge machinery thing in behind my booth. So there was like no room like to do anything. And everyone was always like, they wanted to like drop off stuff they bought or put their coats back there. And I'd be like, yeah. And we would just have this huge pile like behind it on top of all these steps. And oh my goodness, it was such a nightmare. Like it was just, the venue was amazing, but dealing with it was like crazy. And then they had
every year it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that's why they had to move it this year, because it just didn't work anymore. Like there's no way we would fit in it. But they had this like old like freight elevator, and it was the only way for all the vendors to get their stuff to where it had to go. So like for setup and breakdown, you're sitting there waiting for this freight elevator, and it would get filled up with everyone's crap. And then you have to wait for it to go up and then come down. And it was like the venue was so hard to deal with. It was
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
Even the steps, like even if you wanted to take the steps instead of the elevator, they were like this narrow, so you gotta like squeeze past people.
Oh my
But on a
goodness.
coolness level, it was
Oh,
super cool. Like it was really cool.
so worth it.
I was like, I will admit, like, remember Grumpy Len? Amber? Do you remember Grumpy Len on Friday night? Yeah.
Friday night was. That's crazy that they let everybody go in there though, like during setup.
Yeah. They got,
That's
I had to like send apologies to all my friends the next day, like Amber and Ryan and that, because I'm like, I was the Grumpy Len because I was not happy with like, they did like a preview on Friday night, and that's like setup. Like they were letting people in during setup, and we weren't set up. And Jesse and I are trying to set up, like, hundreds of little heads, and people are like, "How much is this?" And I'm just like, "I don't know. I don't know right now." And it was stressful. It was super. And then the nature of the community is, can we help you? Right? Like everyone was like, "Can we help?" And because that's the way everyone is. Like the community is amazing, and I had to be like, I can't really use help right now, like, because it's just like I can't tell you what to do. And I felt bad about it. And it was like, it was one of those times I feel like people saw the worst of me, but like, I think we're okay. We're all right, Amber, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
All right.
You were busy.
Yeah.
And it
all
was
good.
a lot, like in a little area.
Yeah, it was crazy. Sorry, information dump on that.
Oh, that's funny.
Let's see. So what are all the toy lines that you make 3D prints for? Is it just, like,
Myth.
for
It's right now. It's still just Mythic and Cosmic Legion. Last year at Zolocon, it's been a year and I still didn't do it. So that's me admitting it. I started doing parts in the scale for one, like that true 1/12 scale, which is like Vala, Valaverse, and like the more truer to scale. So we would incorporate some of the parts that made sense. Like I'm not going to take every freaking head we make and make it like fit on a, Valaverse figure, because some of them don't make sense. So I'm trying to, pick out, it's a lot of the human ones. And I'm actually going to have an inventory of them to sell them this year at the show. And then afterwards, I'm going to get them on the website and offer them for other lines in that truer scale. Like what it was like called the Monster Force. Monster Force, is that the new one? That's like they're Big Bad selling them direct. They're awesome. I got the wave one. They're freaking amazing. So it'll fit like those types. And so that's where we're looking to move to, like with that. And then when the Defenders of Eden, when the dinosaurs come out, when Matt's dinosaurs come, we're going to have some parts for those. And those are like a totally different scale. And I actually worked with Matt on some of the prototyping and production of those toys. So I have like a little inside jump start on like doing things for those too. And D13. I think D13 falls into the range of the true 1/12. And I've been messing with Chris's stuff too to do some different things for D13.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
I know.
Yeah. D13 is going to have some exclusives. Not exclusives. Chris is going to have some of his stuff at Zolocon, like the actual wave. It's a very small amount, but he's going to have some there that you can actually buy at the table from the wave, and they're really cool. Like I don't know if you guys saw them, but they're awesome. Like they come in books, like almost like figure obscura looking packaging, but they look like an old Bible or an old like tome book, and the packaging's freaking. Did you see them, Tanya?
It seems like I've seen pictures of them online. Like
they're really, really nice.
Showed some of it online. But yeah, I think it's going to be really beautiful. The look of it, everything is going to be beautiful.
I think people are going to be absolutely blown away by like what these things look like in hand, like the quality. I know the demons, I have all of them, and they're really nice. Like the figure itself is really nice quality. Like it poses great, it plays great. They're really cool.
We have a couple. We have most of them, I think.
Yeah. And I've been friends with Chris for a while, so I'm just like super excited for him to see his own thing come out, so it's really neat.
Yeah.
Should we draw for the thing?
Yes. Let's go ahead and draw for that, and then Len, we're gonna probably most everybody that has watched the show before knows that on Friday mornings I get up at 4 a.m.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And I have to be dressed for work and ready to go at 5:15. And so we try very hard to end at 9:30 to honor everybody else's time, but generally too to honor the fact that I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's fine.
So we are definitely going to have you back because we have lots of questions that we haven't even gotten to yet.
It's because I talk too much.
No. We had the best conversation. But we're definitely going to have you back. We've got so much more things that we want to talk to you about. But yeah, let's draw for the giveaway.
Okay.
And then we'll ask the last couple of questions that we have for you that we try to ask all of our guests.
Okay. Oh, I see Jen Syke in there. She's putting hers in. She's going to win. She always wins. Jen wins everything. She's on a lucky streak.
Okay. Hashtag Year of the Female. We have quite a few. How many entries do we have?
59 now.
Nice.
Yeah, we have 68 people in watching us and 59 entries. That's
good.
Awesome. Yeah, and this is great. Len put out the video. He is giving away an Alithia and her horse, and it is awesome. And Len, we greatly appreciate you and thank you for doing that.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
All right, let's spin that wheel. Let's go.
Who's it gonna be?
Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
Darla!
Oh, Darla. Sweet Darla.
Go, Darla.
There you go.
That's
You
awesome.
winner, you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Darla. We love you.
Yay, Darla.
Hooray. That's
Now,
great.
Darla, I think Len probably has your address.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're good. I'll just stick it into one of the other boxes that I'm sending you.
Just make sure Curtis doesn't keep it because it's yours, Darla. It's yours.
Mhm.
Curtis
Exactly. That's great.
Oh, that's awesome. And Darla does rock. She is amazing. We love her so much.
Darla's the best.
All right, Len, question that we've been asking everybody, and next month it's going to go away and we're going to have to think of something else. But how much do you think the dragon from Four Horsemen is going to be?
All right. First, I can't just give you the answer, Tanya. Come on, I got to say more.
Yeah,
I'm watching the clock. I got 2 minutes. I will say this, and people, all right, it's known that I have friends that work at the studio, and I know people at the studio. So I will say this in saying, I do not know. I have no idea. This is a solid guess. No clue whatsoever. Like, no one's ever told me anything. I know nothing of this. And my guess would be 5.
Okay.
Fair?
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
That's a good guess. That's a good guess.
That's my guess. And totally, no one please hinge anything on that because I have no knowledge of it all. I stay
29, Len said.
Yeah. I don't really like, I stay like really blissfully like unaware of many things for that reason. But yeah, my guess would be 5, I think, But I think they might have surprises with it. Like, I don't know how they're going to do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Got it. Okay.
And lastly, what is one thing that you can tell us that you haven't told anyone else? You said you were ready.
Okay. What did I say? I am ready for here. People, listen, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this, but this is also me telling you that it's okay. It is okay in 2025 to say that you don't like Led Zeppelin. It's okay. It's okay.
That was not okay in 2024, but it is okay in 2025.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Before we hit the year, that's fine to say it in public.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay to like what you like, but if you feel like you don't really like them, if you're like, I'm just liking them because everyone else liked them since like 1974, like, I don't know. It's okay to say you don't and don't. That's all.
Oh my gosh. G's like, I like Led Zeppelin. Andy the Collector, no, it isn't. Curtis, blasphemy.
No, it's okay. See, like, so Curtis is making you feel like it's not okay, but it is. I'm telling you. Len is telling you, everyone out there, it's okay to say you don't like them.
Jonathan said
Don't be
something
afraid of Curtis.
KG says, some things are better left unsaid.
Yeah. I know. It's okay, though. I'm just letting people know that it's okay to say that.
G said, there's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold. Oh my goodness. Oh, the chat is showing up for the last question. I love it.
See, Eric's here. Eric's helping me. He's
Yeah.
saying he never understood Led Zeppelin either. See? Yeah, exactly. Jimmy, he's not that great of a guitarist. Curtis, bite your tongue. Don't say anything bad about Bret Michaels. It's not okay to say that you don't like Poison. That's all I'm saying.
Andy said that better not be a Wolf King promise.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that was so fun. Oh, Len, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has been so much fun. And I feel like we're best friends now. I mean, we both
absolutely.
read the same books. We're besties now. And yeah, so we need to hang out. And
I've bonded with many of people over Wheel of Time. I've met the best people discussing Wheel of Time. I'll tell you that.
Oh, well, I have had the most fun. And we cannot wait. I know ZoloCon is in a few weeks, and Amber is going to be able to see you there. And I don't know if I'm going to see you before Legion's Con.
Yeah, I don't know. It might not be until then because we're doing Maryland. May 5th I'm doing, it's it's show next to me, like Easton, Pennsylvania is like 20 minutes from me, and it's the Lehigh Valley Toy Show, and that's more like a local. Yeah, Amber, you're going to be there. It's cool. It's more of us all hanging out, but it's like it's like in my town, and the Maryland's fun. Maryland's really cool. But yeah, I know. Probably not going to see you till then.
Well, we will definitely be seeing you online. Be jumping in on I know you've been doing a lot of coming on podcasting Fridays at 4.
Yep.
Are you going to stick with the 4 o'clock?
Yeah, I slowly made the progression to 4 as like the last couple of weeks went by, but 4 is going to be the time that I'm going to lock it in. I want it to be closer to like when people are kind of home-ish from work. Right. And it's nicer because like if Emil wants to hop on with me, it's more of a realistic time for him. It's not like, 4 a.m. So, I'm like tomorrow on the Wolf King Toys YouTube channel, 4 o'clock, I'll be there. Might have a guest or two. You never know. And I just like talk like I'm talking now. Like I have a purpose. I have to keep a list, and I kind of try to stay on it, but I just like to talk to people. Hey, people, I work home and I work alone. I don't have coworkers. So like the more I get to like chat on these lives with people, I'm all for it. I'll just talk to you.
Love it. I love it.
We'll have you anytime.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was super fun.
It was so much fun. We are so blessed. And thank you from all of the ladies and everyone else that ordered the Legion's Lady sweatshirt. They are amazing. I wear mine all the time.
Me
Len,
too.
you are a rock star. Love them, love them, love them. And I know that you're working hard on those, and we'll get those out to the ladies as soon as we can.
Yep, I am literally like, I was working on them today, not physically, but I was doing setups and order stuff. So yeah, they're being done, people. They're going to be done like probably in a week. About I'll be able to have them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome. All right, and I will keep everybody updated on that. Again, Len, thank you. We truly appreciate you. Everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. It was great, great, great. Come on, Jonathan. We'll get that out to you as soon as I can. I promise you. You're going to be up there with the first of the ones to go out. I promise. We'll get them out to you. Yeah, and I can't wait to send those out. Guys, we truly appreciate you. Catch Len on Friday. There is something to watch every single day of the week.
that's
if
right.
you want Legion's content, there's something to watch every day of the week. And we will see you in the chat for a lot of them. Not all of them, because we just don't have that much time, but a lot of them will be there. And yes, hit the like button. If you go back and rewatch it, please leave comments. Curtis is always saying that those comments, YouTube likes comments.
It does.
And then, of course, subscribe. We love our subscribers. Again, thank you. Good night to everybody. Good night. We are super excited to have you here. We will see you next time. Bye.